On the news, delegates arrive venue of APC presidential primary as tension heightened. Five presidential hopefuls reject APC governor's list for primary, describes move as an extreme joke. And Kogi State Governor concludes meeting with President Buhari, insists on contesting primary election. We're glad to have you join us to news now. I am Folashade Ogrinde. The delegates have arrived at the Eagle Square in Abuja, where the presidential primary election of the All Progressives Congress (APC) is underway, while delegations from across the nation are expected at the arena. At this time, only the delegates from Lagos, Ogun and Osun states have so far arrived. About 2,322 delegates are expected to be in attendance as the ruling party picks its flag bearer for the 2023 presidential election. Officially, there are 23 aspirants jostling for the ticket, but the party has advised 10 out of them to withdraw. The Northern APC governors have forwarded the names of 5 Southern aspirants to President Muhammadu Buhari for consideration as a consensus candidate. Those shortlisted are the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Lagos State Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, former Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi, and Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State. The chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, who confirmed the shortlist, said those whose names were submitted had been graded by the party screening committee based on specific metrics. Lalong, however, clarified that the contestants not shortlisted were free to disagree with the recommendation and proceed to contest at the primary. Meanwhile, 5 presidential aspirants of the All Progressives Congress (APC) have rejected the names of 5 presidential aspirants submitted to the President Muhammadu Buhari for consideration as a consensus candidate of the party. They made this known in a joint statement on Tuesday, distancing themselves from the list. The aspirants protested that they were not consulted before the Northern governors arrived at the decision. Among the aspirants are Ben Ayade, Emeka Nwajuba, Ogbonnaya Onu, Rochas Okorocha, and Tien Jack Reach. The Northern APC governors had recommended the names of 5 aspirants to the president ahead of the takeoff of the National Convention. In a related development, Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello said he won't step down from the race for the All Progressives Congress APC presidential ticket as he remains the leading presidential aspirant. Bello added that any attempt to exclude him from participating in the presidential primary of the All Progressives Congress APC is a recipe for bigger trouble. He said this on Tuesday after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. According to him, only President Buhari can make him step down. He also insisted that he was not consulted by the APC Northern governors who issued statement ceding power to the South.
I am a free citizen, a free member of the party, a qualified member of the party. I contested. I'm contesting. I bought the form. I was cleared to participate in the election. And no reason for me to be excluded from the ballot. If they do so, then that is a recipe for a bigger trouble for the party. However, I don't think it's a decision of the party. It is a decision of few elites who may decide to use their whatever position to suppress the so-called minority. But I want to prove that in this country, I am not in the minority. We have the majority. I belong to the younger generation. I belong to the generation of Nigerians that are oppressed, and they are saying they must have their voice. And I believe strongly that getting into that arena today, I will win overwhelmingly. If the process and the normal regulations are followed, I will emerge victorious. I respect President Muhammadu Buhari, the leader of our party, and I respect the party. If the president asks me to step down, I will do. Mr. President did not ask anyone to step down. Mr. President said, let the delegate decide who becomes the flag bearer of our party. And he did not say anyone should be excluded.
To make sense of all of this, Adefolari Olamilekan, political affairs analyst, joins me now all the way from Abuja. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the Northern APC governors have forwarded the names of 5 Southern aspirants to the president, and those left out of the list have rejected the move. How do you see this playing out in the polls tonight? We seem to have lost Olamilekan, but we hope to join him later in the news bulletin. Moving on, Islamic cleric Sheikh Abubakar Gumi has attributed the rising wave of insecurity in the country to the high level of deprivation and relegation of the Fulani pastoralists to the background. Gumi will disclose this at a maiden interactive policy dialogue and cultural festival in Abuja. Explained that the Fulanis feel neglected, notwithstanding their meaningful contributions to the economic growth and development of the country. Our correspondent Emeka Amako compiled this report from Abuja.
Nigeria's struggle with the menace of insecurity is well documented, but with the upcoming general elections scheduled to hold in 2023, the country has seen a spike in the rate of terrorism and other forms of criminality. With resultant devastating outcomes in its wake, these levels of crimes perpetrated in worship places, schools, and other soft targets constitute a big worry to the people. A particular ethnic group is repeatedly mentioned in the same breath with these crimes, and that has necessitated this dialogue with the theme, The Future of Fulani Pastoralists in Nigeria, organized by Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore, a Fulani socio-cultural association in Abuja. Sheikh Abubakar Gumi believes that negotiation with the aggrieved group remains an ideal tool to address the lingering challenge.
Let's stop stealing and let's teach morality to them. And the best way is to go to them. When we go there, we tell them, look, it's wrong to steal people, it's wrong to kidnap, it's wrong to take lives, it's wrong to take people's wealth. And they agree with us. So I hope, inshallah, from today, honestly speaking, we have to engage these people, and I hope that we have positive results.
As at 2020, 483,000 Nigerians are displaced in the Northwest. 77,000 of them have migrated from Nigeria to Niger Republic in search of a peaceful sanctuary.
No doubt, the Nigerian military has never shied away from the task of restoring peace and tranquility across the country. However, stakeholders believe that the crimes can best be holistically tackled and revenue generation drive increased.
Banditry is a social problem that Nigeria is increasingly militarizing. There is a role for the military, but there is not going to be a military solution to banditry anywhere in this country. Nowhere in the history of warfare have conflicts like this been won on the battlefield. We all must come in. And only if we all come in can we solve this problem.
The solutions are local, but even those local solutions require investment. Whether it is education or empowerment program for the pastoralists, for the Fulanis, as is done to other groups.
The interactive dialogue is aimed towards an enduring peaceful coexistence, security of lives and property, as well as finding lasting solutions to the challenges of herders and pastoralist clashes in some parts of Nigeria and the sub-Saharan region of Africa.
Let's now head back to the story of the APC aspirants and the tussle going on between those who have been submitted as the possible flag bearers for the party and those who have been excluded. And Olamilekan Adefolari joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the Northern APC governors have forwarded the names of 5 Southern aspirants to the president, and those left out of this list have rejected the move. Now, how do you see this playing out in the post tonight?
All right. In a nutshell, what is happening in the current Nigerian party politics development is to look at it from the angle that it is interest that is playing out. We understand there is horse trading among the politicians, especially the top-ranking politicians among the APC party, trying to make sure that their interests play out. But Nigerians must also understand that these are the fallouts of the general happening around party politics development in Nigeria from 1960. Every elite must come with his own interest. Every elite must come with his own, what he thinks it will be better for his own group. So at this point in time, what is happening in APC is not new, but rather it is what is reinforcing how party politics is being developed in Nigeria. And we must not forget that history has also make us understand that at every point in time, each of these gladiators have something in common. And what they have in common, if they have to come to the table to get it done, if they don't have to come to the table to get it done, one way or the other, they must get it done. And that is what is playing out. And the development in the APC, whether they are getting a consensus candidate or they are not getting a consensus candidate, it's within the party to be able to bring out the machinery to get things done perfectly. But for us Nigerians, for voters out there waiting for February 2023 to elect the president of Nigeria, they are thinking more of what will change the narrative, the current economic situation on ground. And that is where we are today. But we must give it to the politicians because they must do their horse trading, they must do their politicking, and they must go around to make sure that they influence decision in their ranking to get whoever they think that will play to their game on board. And that is where we are in the APC consensus. Either they are getting for a consensus or they are going to go to the ballot to vote the right candidate for the party at this point in time.
Now, in the grand scheme of things, what do you think would most likely clinch the presidential ticket of the party?
Hello? Hello?
Now, Adefolari, if you heard me clearly, I said in the grand scheme of things, what do you think would most likely clinch the presidential ticket of the party?
Well, as it is today, several rumor mills are made it available. Even as of 12 noon today, there was rumor mills that the vice president has stepped down. There was rumor mills that the presidential aspirant has to 3. So, as it is today, nobody is certain whether any aspirant is going to take the lead or any aspirant is going to be the flag bearers of APC. But all hands is on deck. But we know that there are top-ranked politicians. Ahmed Bola Tinubu is there. The vice president is there. Rotimi Amechi is there. Governor Umahi is there. Governor Yade is there. They have candidates that we know can pull the string. But we also know that interest is what is playing out in this APC consensus. Who is going to give us the right thing to be done in terms of who is going to give us the better share if we give you your vote? Each of these governors, either the 14 governors from the north or the southern governors or the eastern governors or the eastern delegates, all of them are playing on what they can get when power remains in APC comes to the territory. That is what we should all understand. Because at the end of the day, if APC is able to win 2023 general election, whoever is going to be their candidate today will make sure that the people that are giving him the votes today get the lion's share of power sharing at the table. That's what we must understand, because it is all about interest. It is all about what the elite can get. It is not what they cannot get, but what they can get at this point in time. And what they can get is what they can trade with. All the delegates from all the 36 states, including FCC, are playing on the interest. And that interest is what will determine who is going to come out this evening or later tomorrow morning as the APC presidential candidate. That is just it.
Indeed, Adefolari Olamilekan, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much for your time. Moving on, the trial of Andrew Ominikoron, driver of the BRT Rapid Transit, charged with the rape and murder of a 22-year-old fashion designer, Oluwabamishi Ayanwola, has been stalled due to the absence of the defendant's counsel. Andrew Ominikoron is standing trial before Lagos High Court sitting in Tafawa Balewa Square on a 5-count charge bordering on conspiracy, rape and murder preferred against him by the Lagos State government. When the case was called on Tuesday, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Babajide Martins, informed the court that the defendant's counsel, Abayomi Omotobora, is not in court but called in sick. He, however, disclosed that the prosecution brought in 3 witnesses in court. Following the development, Justice Sherifat Shonaike adjourned the case until June 7 for the continuation of trial. Speaking to journalists, counsel to the Ayowola family, Ayo Ademuliyi, said the family looks forward to the next court date.
We have 3 substantive dates given to us by the court, which is 1st, 7th, and 9th of June. So today, what we have today was the absence of the defense counsel, Mr. Omotobora, who was not in court. Then the matter was stood down for possible entrance of Mr. Omotobora. But fortunately, after it was called again, the matter couldn't go on because of the absence of the defense counsel. Now it is the defense counsel has cancelled to Mr. Adunai Somini Koron. Mr. Adunai Somini Koron. That's the person who was absent. Now it is trite law that it is very, very germane for the defense counsel to be in court in any criminal proceedings. Don't forget that the cross-examination itself will be conducted, continuation cross-examination of the second prosecution witness will be conducted by the defense counsel. So, and then 2 is the fact that the question of fair hearing will arise. You can't, of course, continue the trial without the lawyer, except where the suspect now declines the legal services of that lawyer or hopes to defend himself. He has the constitutional right to defend himself. So the matter is now adjourned to 9th of June, which is the 3rd substantive date, which is next tomorrow, for the same continuation of trial.
Well, up next on News Now, Mali military promises return to civilian rule by March 2024. Details of this story and more right after this break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The delegates have arrived at Eagle Square in Abuja, where the presidential primary election of the All Progressives Congress, APC, is underway. About 2,322 delegates are expected to be in attendance as the ruling party picks its flag bearer for the 2023 presidential election. Officially, there are 23 aspirants jostling for the ticket, but the party has advised 10 of them to withdraw. We also told you that Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has said he won't step down from the race for the All Progressives Congress presidential ticket as he remains the leading presidential aspirant. Bello will make this known on Tuesday after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. Added that any attempt to exclude him from participating in the presidential primary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, is a recipe for bigger trouble. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. Japanese authorities have said foreign tourists visiting the country will be required to wear masks, take out private medical insurance, and be chaperoned throughout their stay. This comes After Japan plans a gradual opening from 2 years of COVID-19 restrictions, it added that only visitors and package tours will be allowed in during the first phase of reopening from June 10, and in the travel agency guides accompanying visitors will have to ensure they wear their face masks. Japan has imposed some of the strictest border controls in the world over the course of the pandemic, banning the entry of almost all non-residents. Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention indicates that pharmacies, states, U.S. territories and federal agencies have discarded 82.1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses from December 2020 through mid-May. That's an increase from 65 million doses, the CDC further explained. Two retail pharmacy chains, CVS and Walmart, were responsible for over a quarter of the doses thrown away in the United States in that time period, in part due to the sheer volume of vaccine they handled. However, the overall amount of waste is in line with World Health Organization estimates for large vaccination campaigns. Well, we'll take a break here and return with more stories in business. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Abisola Adibaye joins us now for more stories in business. Over to you, Abisola.
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's crude oil exports has risen to 5.6 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022, reflecting nearly 200% increase when compared to the same period in 2021. The figures contained in the foreign trade report of the National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's total merchandise trade stood at 13 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022. This indicates an increase of 11.05% over the value recorded in the fourth quarter of 2021 and 65.41% higher when compared to the value recorded in the first quarter of 2021. Lagos East Senator Tokunbo Abiru has announced a 100 million naira business loan support for micro, small and medium enterprises. Abiru at an event in Lagos says MSMEs play a critical role in the nation's economic development, which accounts for 90% of businesses and more than 70% of employment worldwide. He explained that the loan is expected to provide the businesses with working capital and finance for equipment acquisition at a highly subsidized interest rate.
So I just want to encourage you to be persistent. As the saying goes, you can take a horse to the stream, you cannot force the horse to drink water. The program by the Senator has brought you to the stream. Whether you drink water or not, it's now up to you.
As a business entrepreneur, funding my business, getting materials, getting equipment, that was very high cost. As a graphic designer, I use the internet. I need to network with people, I need to reach out to people. And I can tell you that as data it is life for my business. And as well as I use data, I need electricity. One of the major problems has been electricity. There has not been stable power supply, and it really affects my job most times.
We'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. The NGX continued in the positive territory started since Friday today as the bull celebrated its re-entry into the 53,000 level with today's gain at 0.35%. Specifically, the all-share index closed at 53,270 basis points, and this added 99 billion naira appreciation to the market capitalization. Moving on, transport service Global Spectrum Energy Services PLC and financial services giant Jais Bank led the gainers counter today as they recorded a combined 35 kobo gains. On the flip side, as our losers list for today, Cotix and Cadbury led the losers counter as they recorded a combined 1 naira 35 kobo. Positive sentiment was spread all over the activity chart from the deals to the value and even to the volume, all positive today, which is why 234 million units of shares valued at 2 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,232 deals. Well, the positive sentiment started since Friday, and we do hope that the bull stays on the floor of the NGX. Moving on to the foreign scene, the FTSE ended modestly lower on Tuesday as Wall Street eased off opening lows, although investors retained their caution over inflation and global growth ahead of the US CPI numbers due at the end of this week. US stocks also dipped on Tuesday after Target issued a warning about its current quarter's profit, which caused an early sell-off for retailers. Japan stocks Nikkei, on the other hand, touched a more than 2-month high on Tuesday as automakers led gains after the US dollar hit fresh 20 years high. Well, that's all on stock market reports. Back to Folashade for the rest of the news.
Well, many thanks, Abisala, for that update. And on the foreign scene, Mali's military rulers have announced that they would restore civilian rule in 2 years. Military leader Colonel Assimi Goita signed a decree read out on state television saying that the duration of the transition is fixed at 24 months starting from March 26, 2022. The military said a decree followed an advanced stage of negotiations with ECOWAS as it hopes sanctions will be lifted. Mali has undergone 2 military coups since the military seized power in an initial coup in August 2020 and ousted the elected president Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. Now on the sporting scene, where Osimhen is the star of the day. The Napoli and Super Eagles of Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen has been ranked 97th among the top 100 most valuable players in the transfer market. The ranking, released on Monday, is according to a CEIS Football Observatory, considering factors such as players' age, performances, economic value of their club, and inflation to work out estimated transfer values. Osimhen, who won the Italian Serie A on the 23 best young player of the season in the just concluded 2021-2022 football season, is valued at 51 million euros in the transfer market. The former Lille of France striker is one of the only 3 Africans on the list. The other 2 are Mohamed Salah of Egypt and Achraf Hakimi of Paris Saint-Germain. The pair are ranked 81st and 36th respectively on the list. And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde. Bye for now.